Back for another week, Cowboy Nation. This is the Cowboy Show, and I'm your man, T. Drape.
And I am Coach T, and we are I-70 Entertainment.
We appreciate you for dropping in. Another week. Week 8 is in the book.
In the books.
Another loss for the Cowboys. Cowboys fall to a record of 3-4. We are now below 500.
Yes, sir.
And 49ers officially own us once again. Another year where we fall to defeat. This one here, it just leaves you, Cowboy Nation, with the big question of, is the season done? And I'll ask you, Coach T, I want to get your response on that. I'll give you mine and follow up.
No, the season's not done. We got to have some things, definitely some things going our direction. I think we need the injured guys back. Of course, Micah, Carson or Bland. I think we need the other guy to corner. I think we need to start subbing in, seeing what Wanye can do in the defensive backfield. I think we need to really run the ball more because, as we discussed we're a better run blocking team, I think, than pass blocking. And let Rico. I don't know what happened with that, but he is definitely the running back with more pop, more juice. He finishes runs well. But no, it's not over. We still got 10 games left. But I understand where the question is coming from with how we've looked. And you look at the score 30-24, but we were down with 17 points in the third. It's me being an optimist, and I'm not normally that. No, it's not. It's not over. I believe the $60 million man can make some things happen if he has to, and we gotta have some better play design. But it's not over.
Okay. All right, Coach. So for me, my answer to that question would be, no, it's not over, but it damn sure feels like it is. And it feels like that window is getting smaller and closing, with every game that we play. Like I talked to you, I believe it was yesterday, and we was having a discussion looking at the layout or the lay of the land. I think we have the Eagles as the sixth place team if things was to finish up. And then the seventh place, I believe you have the Washington Redskins. Okay. And I don't believe, from what I've seen, the evidence that the Cowboys have left doesn't look like that. I feel that we can catch either one of those teams.
Hold on, let me correct you with that.
Go ahead, Coach. Go ahead.
Washington is number 2.
I'm sorry, not Washington.
Philly is number 7.
Philly is 7. Who's in the 6th place?
Minnesota.
So Minnesota and Philadelphia. Neither one of those teams do I feel like we can catch. That's just my opinion. Maybe we can get hot, we can get on the streak, but the thing is, I don't know, how many times have we heard that Deron Bland is, we thought Pittsburgh game, that 4 to 6 week window, we're in week 8 and I haven't heard anything. Michael Parsons, we don't know when we're going to get him back. And then, just being away from the game, there's an acclimation, a ramp up that those guys have to go through. I mean, just right now, guys, it's just not the eye test. It's just not a good football team. I think that we have talent on this football team, but I just think that the way that we're being coached, the way that we're being managed, all of those things just don't equal up to a team that can go out and be victorious on a week-to-week basis. As we looked at our schedule, we got the Falcons coming up and then the Eagles, I believe, right behind them. So those are 2 tough games, and the Falcons game is in Atlanta. No, yes, they played in Dallas last year. So that game will be on the road, and then the Eagles game is
come here.
Eagles come to us. So
and then we got the Texans right after that.
Yeah, so those are really 2 tough games. I mean, as a Cowboys fan, I'm definitely rooting for us. I'm hoping that we can turn things around, but it just doesn't seem like it. Like you said, I don't know what happened with the Rico Dow thing. It just didn't look right. Looking at the video, seeing that guy signing autographs and communicating with people out on the field before the game, and then all of a sudden he's just totally just ill and
he's out.
He can't play. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Tough. We can only go by the information that they give us, but anyone, you know what I'm saying, with a heartbeat to me that you feel like, you know what I'm saying, what the is going on.
Let me say this. If we don't get this game Sunday, yeah, you might call it Christmas. Because like you say, we got the Eagles, the Texans, and at the Commanders coming up after that, you know, before we play the Giants for Thanksgiving. So,
yeah, it doesn't get any easier.
No.
It doesn't get any easier.
So this is definitely a must win if we want to save face event for anything.
Yeah, yeah. So let's dive a little bit into the game. That was something I just wanted to question is if the season was over. Of course, we know we've got a lot of football still to play, but, you know, it doesn't look good for us. Games that we thought we would be able to win is not turning out that way.
No, sir.
You know, so in that game against San Francisco, when you go up against a team who are injured, who has injuries, just like, you know, we have injuries, but when you get a team that's down like that, you got Deebo Samuels, who's not 100%, Kittles, who's not 100%, and then you got some guys that I if you'd have asked me before this week, I wouldn't even have been able to tell you their names. And the guys go out there and find a way to get it done, and we just didn't. And this the next thing I just kind of want to talk about is just Coach Mike McCarthy, because it's definitely the writing's on the wall. This is going to be his last year as the Cowboys coach. I definitely think at this point, not just what Jerry's going to do, just what I'm seeing, and I'm not no owner of the Cowboys. So who knows what Jerry's going to do? He surprises us with all the time. But I just believe that he'll go in a different direction. What he'll do as far as a coach, no one has a clue who will be the next person. But I just think this era of Mike McCarthy is coming to an end. I'd like to get your thoughts on that.
Oh, absolutely. We thought it was we thought it came to an end after the debacle against Green Bay in the playoffs.
Yeah. Felt right then.
Yeah. But Jerry being Jerry, he wants to give him another chance. And then the thing is, we bring in. I'm gonna go to this offensive line, man, because it goes with the play design. But this offensive line, man, is just it's really porous, especially pass blocking, man. That right side is really bad, and we're not really giving any help to them. We give a chip every now and then, but we have to do more, man. And with that, we I would say 60% of our plays are either 5 to 10 yard comebacks or go deep. And with that type of line, he can't hold the ball like that. And with the line, I don't understand why we brought in an old Scolari, or is that his name? Yeah, Solari as our coach, 69 years old, man. We still cannot handle a twist or a stunt. We still got guys. Guyton still has trouble with the inside move.
Yep.
I mean, we're in week 8.
Yeah.
And we still, if somebody twists on or stunts on us, we're having trouble passing the blocks and picking up. Come on, man.
Yeah. That's the thing that I love about sports, man. There's no in between, man. You have to go out there and you have to execute. You either do or you don't. And we're just not getting it done. And like you said, the thing that we're talking about, Coach Mike McCarthy, is that you had basically 2 weeks, a bye week and then the preparation week. You had those 2 weeks to prepare yourself to come in to make some kind of adjustments and, you know, try to get yourself out the hole and start to do things a little bit more efficiently, find ways to be able to move the ball and to score. And I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I didn't see a team to me that looked like they came off a bye week. The only thing that I saw different offensively was that we tried to move Dak out the pocket to get him outside to make some throws. But other than that, it was the same offense. It was the same offense. The same play action that I don't know who you're faking because you can't run the ball, so nobody's respecting that. And then you're giving Ferguson these 2 and 3 yard pass routes where he really doesn't have any momentum when he catches the ball to be going downhill. It's just not set up for success.
One of the most athletic tight ends in the game, man.
Right. You know, we want to give people, just like you saw them, how they had Kittles on the move. It's very hard when you crossing and you got a safety that's got to come down and that's got to cover that. We need those kind of plays, and we're just not getting that from this Mike McCarthy offense. And there's a part of me that feels like Mike McCarthy has totally went away from even the things that I believe that
What we talking about, Kellen Moore?
Yeah, and Kellen Moore, I wasn't a big fan of the things that he did, but I do think that Kellen Moore offensively had some things that were able to get receivers open.
Oh,
Some things, he has some strategies that I just think now Mike has went back to more of his Green Bay days.
Yeah.
It just looks like the old school West Coast offense. You know what I mean? Where we dinking and dunking, and then when you do want to throw down the field, the routes just don't make sense.
No.
And I'll ask you this question. I don't know if Flournoy is hurt or what's going on with him. I know he had that fumble, and it seemed like he just got in the doghouse or something. He can't get back out there. But, man, I don't have anything against Turpin. I think he's done a good job in the situations. But when you're throwing a jump ball down the field like that, I just really think, like, you got guys that could give you a better opportunity to make that play. That's a tough play for a guy that's 5'7".
You're talking about it
down the field.
One of the last possessions. Absolutely. It was in his hands, but absolutely.
Yeah. And then, like you said, Coach, we both looking at I think Steele is a way better run blocker than he is a pass blocker. I saw him get some really nice blocks, but it's just not you're not giving the running game an opportunity. And even Zeke is slow. As slow as my guy looked out there, he did have some nice banging runs. And we went down on that drive when they let him score. He had some nice runs, and we didn't never go back to it. We never gave it another opportunity. He put so much pressure to me on Dak to go out there. And to me, Dak just is not a guy that you want throwing the ball 40-something times. He's going to throw some picks.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially with that offensive line and not having a running game, you're putting a lot on that man. And, $60 million warrants it, but it still doesn't void good for us as a football team when we're playing that type of football. I definitely think the Mike McCarthy era will change. I'm not sure what direction we'll go in. Like we said, we hope we get somebody in there energetic, a young guy.
That he'll give some we have to have another voice besides the Jones family.
Yeah.
I mean, we see what happened when we allowed Will McClay to come in there. He changed it up. Now he's giving Will more say so in the drafting, and we've done markedly better drafting.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I just don't know where he's at with that coaching, man. It's just, to me, it has to be somebody that he plays with well, that plays nice with him, that he can, manipulate and, he can get what he wants out the team. So I don't know where we'll go as far as a coach, but I just think that it'll be a changing of the brass as far as the head, as far as the coaching staff.
We know where he's going as a coach. He's going to some retread. He's giving a second life to. So they're just grateful for the opportunity. And go ahead, Jerry, you give me whoever you want to give me, and I'll work with them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He didn't want somebody to a challenge and like, man, I need this guy.
Yeah. And then looking at the film, one thing I noticed about our team and the difference between our defense, when the 49ers were on offense, is that they got downhill and got on top of our linebackers when they run the football. Too many times I saw plays where Fred Warner and them are just free. We're not getting our linemen off that initial block and to get to the second level and be able to put a hat on a linebacker. That's just, you're not giving your running game, a chance to be successful if you're not putting anything on a linebacker, especially somebody as good as Fred Warner.
Man, that goes back to that daggone Solari, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out why we hired the old guy.
Yeah, it makes you scratch your head, and a lot of things with this team makes you scratch your head. So let's keep it moving. Let's talk about the defensive side of the ball for a second. So the defensive side of the ball, I really thought Mike Zimmer came out trying to really put pressure. Like what we saw in Minnesota as far as standing the linebackers up in those A gaps, getting down in there. He did that. And I thought that the first half we did a way better job of at least putting up some resistance to the run.
Right.
I did think that worked for us, but it did. They caught us a couple of times, like the time they caught Kendricks on Debo, coming out the backfield. He tried to jump him late. That's never going to work for you.
Right.
Kendricks is a good linebacker, but you're just asking him to do things that's just not. It's just not possible from him. He's not going to be able to run with Debo. But yeah, I thought he made some adjustments, especially in the first half. I thought the defense played well. But here's the thing, and why I'm saying we've got to move on from this coaching group that we have now is the difference is you saw Shanahan struggle the first half. He goes in the locker room. Whatever they did, whatever adjustments they drew up or they made or changes of personnel, it came out and it was a completely different team in the third quarter. And for what we were doing, we didn't adjust. So, to me, that's a good sign of a good coach, and that's why these close games like this and games that we should win, we're not winning. We're getting out coached.
Yeah, 21-16 in the third quarter. Yep. 21 points to 16 yards for us.
And it was three straight drives.
Yeah, I mean, they saw the mismatch, and they kept feeding the mismatch. Donovan Wilson could not check George Kittle's.
Yeah, not even just, his running mate, too, Malik Hooker. He's not getting it done as well.
That's what I'm saying. We let's try something new. Let's try something, and even on the reverse to Pearsall with 30, 40-yard reverse, that's because Donovan Wilson did not have a clue where the ball was.
Donovan Wilson, and I hate signaling guys out, but Donovan Wilson,
his best.
He's good when he's coming downhill and he's laying his hat on somebody. But if you need him to break down, if you need him to make coverages, he's going to let you down. And that's, unfortunately, that is just what it is. So, you have a guy, Wanye Thomas, who's played well in preseason games. When he's had opportunities, he's made plays. I would like to see that kid get an opportunity. I did look up and see him in the game, but it was after everything was
3 plays.
It was after everything was it was a wrap. So maybe that's something in the future that they've got to do. But you got other safeties over there that you can look at and give those guys an opportunity. Marion, I know you're playing a guy off the practice squad. I think he may have led us in tackles or second in tackles.
Right.
A hell of a run stopper, but doesn't get it done in coverage. So
right, absolutely.
It is what it is. So on the defensive side of the ball, the front line, I'll let you tell me what you saw.
We catch, especially Osa and Chauncey Golston play really well. They attack. But I looked at a lot of the tape, and Mozzie, when that snap is made, there's no forward thrust, pause, to attack the lineman. He's standing straight up, and same thing with Joseph. They're standing up like they're trying to read the play,
right,
or read the blocks instead of exploding, getting upfield.
Right. And we talking about at the highest level of football, man. They taught us that at Pee Wee football, man. You can't play standing up like a telephone pole.
And that's why they making tackles 3-5 yards down the field.
Right. So defensively, it's more of the same issue. We, ended up giving up. Give me that number, Coach. 240
on the ground.
Yeah. What did we end up giving up?
223.
223, and that
6.2 per carry.
Yeah, that running back that they brought in, I think they kept saying he's a 4-3 guy, and he looked like it. He looked like it. He came in and Mason that was running, I think he's still bothered by that shoulder. That guy just carved us up, and it looked, and let me Cowboy Nation, let me say this too, because I went in hard last show on Stephen Diggs. Trey Diggs, and I just seen Stephen Diggs torn ACL out for the year. Yeah, but Trey, I was questioning, his ability or his want to want to make tackles and be physical, and I did see that this week. He came up and he laid his hat on people. He tried.
It was much better effort.
Much better effort, and I think that everybody's seen the thing with the reporter coming out of the locker room, and these guys now, they're on social media as soon as the game's over. I would like to not have seen that. I know emotions and all that stuff, but Trey, I just want to say, man, you did, man. You went out there and you gave the effort. You gave up your body, and that's what I like to see from a guy. So,
did well in coverage.
Yeah, his coverage is usually not a problem. You're going to have some times when he's going to gamble, and that's just the nature of who he is. But I'm just talking about the effort, and I saw that from 7. And I just wanted to say, last week I was really critical of you, dude. and you played a good game, and you did at least, you gave up your body and wanted to stop the run this week. So, I just want to just, say that about Diggs. But yeah, as far as a collective team, we just have players and we have pieces that don't play well on the defensive side of the ball. So, like Coach said, hopefully we'll get those guys back that are injured that can help the defense, and maybe that'll give us something.
That's a big if.
Yeah, penalties was better this week.
Oh yeah, 6 total.
Special teams is what
4 on special teams, and not a holding penalty on special teams.
Right.
Where they do that? Offsides. Come on.
So penalties did get a little bit better.
Oh yeah,
they did get a little bit better.
We were much better on that part.
Yep. But at this point, I know Coach said, he don't think the season's over. A lot of it for me is thinking if we're not going to be able to do anything, I'm already starting to think about what can we do as far as positioning ourselves to be in a good place to get one of these.
We might have to revamp the whole team. We're going to do the whole coaching staff. We're going to do something with that. But we might need to make some tough decisions. We know Jerry won't make it because he's Jerry and he whatever. But we might need to make some tough decisions on some players, man.
You got to, man. You've got to. You've got to change something, man. You can't just keep – like I said, we went from being 12, 13 wins for 3 seasons straight, and to fall off, to where we are at now, looking like the team that we are now, is just really depressing from a fan. And then you think about it moving forward, you got Dak tied up into this contract, so he's going to be there for, at least the next 4 seasons. CD, and, shout out to CD. He had a really good game. It's just that, unfortunately, he's all that we have. And these other guys, Tolbert and them, there's no knock on them. I'm hoping these guys, Tolbert definitely took a step forward and got better. But we're playing with Turpin out there and Brooks out there. And these are just, 2 guys who are giving us their best. But let's just be honest, these guys weren't even draft picks. And this is what we're rolling out there. So I would like to see us give Dak another option on that wide receiver route, but with what we're paying CD and Michael Parsons coming down the line, I don't know what we can do. It's funny, other teams are able to go out, like I was saying, Baltimore Ravens go out and sign the kid from the Panthers, Deontay Johnson came over from the Steelers. Now he's going to be with the Ravens, and hey, the Ravens see a need and they go out and they get it, and that's what I would like from my football organization. Somebody was talking about it on the web and was just saying, hey, I'm not a fan of the franchise, but I damn sure support this team. And, that's how, unfortunately, I feel about some of the moves and things that are going on.
The bottom line is we have a GM that can do what he wants without fear of getting fired. Like you said, we're 12-5 the last 3 seasons. And so this season, we go all in with just keeping our guys.
That's what all in meant?
I mean, but you're the GM. You know what I mean? You're the architect of this team. Yeah. You know that we needed more. We needed a strong another defensive tackle. We needed another receiver. Yeah. We needed. I mean, maybe more than Zeke, but we ain't seen what Rico can do. As y'all see, I'm a Rico proponent.
Right.
But you know what I mean. And so when you have a GM that doesn't have to look over his shoulder, like, am I doing the right thing, whatever? Right. And hell, we're going to get whatever as a product.
Yeah, you end up with Ezekiel Elliott and Dalvin Cook as your backs.
Yeah, and our big pickup on the line is Jordan Phillips and Linval Joseph. It's like, what are we doing?
Right. It's almost like he went in, he looked at it, he's like, all right, I don't have to pay these guys. I got McCarthy, who I'm going to give him another year, but I'm really not going to give him nothing. You know what I mean? So, it's like everything was just set up to fail.
Yeah.
Like, was that, now I'm starting to think, was it done on purpose?
I would hate to think that, but I could say this. He's about the brand and the money. And I don't, whatever he says, I think that is number one because like we were talking before, players, I keep reading about players tired of these tours and being, seen as a spectacle if they're trying to get their lift on, whenever. And you see tours and people walking by, that's distracting.
Yeah,
That's
it
not
is.
championship mindset. That's not championship
It is.
situation.
Right, and you think about it, even on the college level, what do teams and coaches and universities do? They take their kids away from the distraction. Come Friday night, you don't want your kids on that college campus. You're taking them to a hotel 30 minutes away. So you can isolate your team, give them a chance to focus on what they need to do as a unit.
Right.
You know, just like I told you, Jimmy Johnson was talking about how, you know, even when he was the coach, you know, he's in the locker room and all of a sudden Jerry come in with the Saudis and, you know, the money guys and, you know, he bust in the locker room, the reporters and stuff is with him. Like, this is what you have to deal with. And so then we're talking about, well, what good coach or what young guy we're going to come. Like, sometimes I don't know if coaches, like, if they got another option,
Right.
it ain't what you get down in Jerry world, but, hey, man, having some ability to have a peace of mind, to be able to know what you're putting together, you know what I'm saying? It's on you. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to fight that battle. So sometimes I think some coaches may steer away from it. They don't want to take that job. So.
Absolutely. It's a lot more that comes with it, man. I mean, of course, being a coach of Dallas Cowboys, that's huge enough. You're going to be on, you know, top story on Sports Center.
Right.
But now you also have to deal with the GM owner all up in your business. You know what I mean?
All up in the video. It is what it is, Cowboy family. We got to find some light somewhere, baby. So, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, it's one of those years where it looks like we're going to have to we don't get the next win. We're going to have to start thinking about where we go.
5 against the Eagles coming in?
Yeah, it is. That's what I'm saying, because that's why I said it felt like when we lost that game, that was the season slipped away from us. That was the opportunity that you really had a chance to go into San Francisco and win.
Yes,
coming off a bye week.
Yes,
so
sir.
I think they go into their bye week this week, trying to get healthy. But yeah, Cowboy Nation, like, you know, right now, you know, so we just want to come on and just give it to you how it is. It is what it is. You guys know, you watching it just as much as we is. But I just think that, you know, this coaching staff, they've lost the team. I'm not sure how much, you know, belief that they have coming in that building that them guys are going to get them prepared.
Man, because they the receivers, man, the offense, they know what they like. Man, what are we running?
Right.
Like, come on, man.
Right.
Garbage.
Yep. Coach, as always, baby, give us some parting shots. You know what I mean? What you want us to look forward to going into this next week against the Falcons? Come on, give the Cowboys Nation something, man.
Give them something. Hey, man, wake up with a smile on your face that you're alive. Listen,
there's nothing football related.
Hey, listen, it's a game. Ooh. Enjoy it, man. Don't put too much into it, man. Don't lose. You
sound
know,
like me
man.
2 weeks ago, Coach.
And just enjoy it, man. We gotta stop Bijan. And Kirk Cousins had a great game. Now they're throwing the pits more. So what do we go? We can't put Donovan on him.
They got some guys, man.
Oh my goodness.
They got some guys that can get it done. It's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be a tough one.
But if we cannot score 17 points in the first half, man.
Yeah.
It's call it Christmas.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah, it is what it is. Cowboys fans. Some of y'all out there, maybe y'all already done moved on. You watching the Mavericks. Hoping that they can get something. You got to do something, man, that has some kind of outlet.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Well, man, we're going to wrap it up, man. I'm your man, T. Drape.
And I am Coach T. As always, one love.
As always, too. Subscribe, hit that like button, hit the alert so you know when we come out notification-wise, and stay safe, man. One love, Cowboy Nation.